TikTok. Welcome everybody to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is your Supreme Court rigged? Is the Supreme Court justices rigged? Who did the leak? Who leaked it? Who leaked it?
Who leaked the Roe v. Wade file?
I don't know. But we're going to find out. Welcome, everybody. Marks Conte reporting. Morning. Good morning. I'm waiting for my stream to pop up. You see what I look for? I wait till we're live until I see the actual screen. You see the delay there. It's like a 58-second delay. So the big story, if you're not aware, I mean, a lot of people are talking about Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin found enough evidence to suggest that there will be a manslaughter trial. Alec Baldwin possibly going to go to jail for pulling the trigger on his brain is not in gear. Alec Baldwin might go to jail for shooting his director of photography, and by all means, somebody. When you think about it, somebody should be held accountable. A gun goes off, the gun has a bullet in it, the bullet kills somebody. And everybody's saying, I don't know what happened. Somebody handed me the gun. I didn't pull the trigger pulled itself. All right, so somebody did it. 3 people implicated in this. The armorer, the person whose job it is to check the gun and hand the gun and control the guns in a situation like that. Then the person who handed the gun to Alec Baldwin and Alec Baldwin himself. All 3 are being sort of brought up on manslaughter charges. I don't know. We're going to have a trial. Alec Baldwin, don't rule him out. He's a good actor. He's going to get up there and say, I don't know, somebody handed me the gun. I didn't pull the trigger. So we're going to find out. But bigger story is this. And mainstream media, I was surfing around. I only found one clip by CBS. This is probably one of the biggest breaches in trust in American history. Even the Supreme Court themselves is calling this breach of trust, where the Roe v. Wade decision, the preliminary decision to overthrow Roe v. Wade, leaked out to the press. Now that's unprecedented in Supreme Court justice history, right? But they did a, quote, thorough investigation into the allegation that it was a leak. And they looked at hacking. What they mostly looked at was the people surrounding the Supreme Court justices. And guess who they didn't interview? Guess who they didn't cross-examine? The justices themselves. Right? Every justice, no justice there was that, you call that an investigation? How is that an investigation when there's 9 Supreme Court justices and all of their workers and robots under them doing the jobs, right? You interrogate, threaten with jail all of the robots underneath the justices, but the justices themselves never got interviewed, never got cross-examined. So based on that assumption, based on the assumption that that everybody surrounding the incident of a leaked document that landed in Politico's pocket, right? Everything surrounding that, everybody surrounding that situation got investigated and was found to not be implicated in the leak. No hack, no leak. But the justices themselves were never interrogated. right? They were never questioned. All right, so the evidence points to one of the 9 justices as having been the person that dumped the document on Politico. How else could it have happened? How else could it have happened? If there's nobody in the immediate circle that has been found to have leaked it, right? Then it only leads to one place. One of the 9. Which one of the 9 did it? Which one of the 9 did it? I don't know. There's a lot of politics going on, but we'll take a look at the story. And what else is going on? Alec Baldwin. Joe Biden. Joe Biden says, I have no regrets over hiding the classified documents. No regrets. It's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. Trump is wrong, and screw you. So that's my thumbnail today. Who did it? Who leaked the file? Who leaked the file? One of these fine justices has leaked the file, the biggest breach in Supreme Court history. Somebody dumps the file on the public, and we don't know who did it. All of their people, all of their little workers, their ants have been thoroughly investigated and flipped over and flipped and flopped, but there's no evidence of any of them doing anything wrong. So you got to point to the top dog. Did I don't know, one of the lefties do it? I don't know. I don't know at this point. Who could have leaked it? Maybe it was one of the 2 women, Samato or the other one. Don't know, but we're going to look at it. So I have a website. My name is Marcus Conte. Every morning at 9 a.m., we are live. Right now, we're live on YouTube. We broadcast across Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, and everywhere else you might stumble on social media. And also promoting this, I got a little story here if you want to read it. It's called The Enlightened Father. It's a Buddhist fairy tale for the ages. Now, you're saying, what the hell is Conte talking about, Buddhism? Just read it. It's a good story, man. You might get enlightened if you read it. So there's also PayPal, Patreon, if you want to contribute to this program. So let's dive right in. Oh, yeah, David Crosby of the great Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, dead. Crosby dead. David Crosby dead at 81 years old. If you remember who he is, there he is with his infamous mustache. And so he's dead. He lived a good life, died from, it says, unknown illness, a long battle with an unknown illness, says his wife, Jan. And, I was a fan. I guess I'm a fan of Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. I got to tell you, I liked it better when Young came in. Neil Young gave it life. Neil Young pumped life into the Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young thing. But there he is, dead, kissing his wife. There he is in the yard, the Birds. He was a player in the Birds. Again, not a big fan. Crosby. I would have gotten him confused with Bing Crosby at some point, but I don't know. So, great rock star dead. Where's Neil? Where is Neil? They didn't like each other, right? Neil Young took over, right? Neil Young joined the band. He took over. But nonetheless, David Crosby dead at 81 years old. And let's talk briefly about Alec Baldwin because, I don't know, it's going to be an interesting case. Alec Baldwin, armorer, charged with involuntary manslaughter in fatal rust shooting of Helena Hutchins. All right, so Alec going down for the count. Alec Baldwin will be criminally charged with involuntary manslaughter for his part in the rust shooting, which left cinematographer Helene Hutchins dead, prosecutors said Thursday. Now, this story is all over the internet right now. Everybody's talking about it, and we'll have to see. There is a video of Alec Baldwin said, "I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't pull the trigger. Somebody handed me the gun. I don't know. The gun just went off." All right, so look, a gun was fired, and it shot somebody. Right? That is, what are we supposed to do in that situation? Say, oh, it's just an accident? One would think. You say, oh, it's just an accident. But I think really the essence of the criminal case should be who put the bullet in the gun. Was it done intentionally? Right? And if it wasn't done intentionally, if it was just a colossal error, I don't see throwing anybody in jail to make it go away. You know, it doesn't change anything. If some stupid armorer broke a rule and they had live rounds on the set, and, you know, maybe they didn't check a gun, he just passed it off to the next guy, and the next guy passed it off to Baldwin and said, oh, get ready, we're ready to go, let's go, shoot, boom, boom, and he shot the gun. Right? It is a terrible error of judgment on all three of their parts. Someone should have checked the gun or removed the clip, the fucking firing pin from the gun. All right, why do you have to have a real gun in a movie set? You don't have a prop? And there was also rumors that they were shooting the gun off in the back. They had real bullets for fun, for shits and giggles. It was a fucking error, in my view. Nobody who wanted to see what is the motive for have killed Helena Hutchins. Who wanted to see Helena Hutchins dead? There she is, right? Is that her? No, that's not her. That's her. There she is. Yeah, that is her. All right, who wanted to see her dead? Nobody wanted to see her dead. So why are we having a murder trial to see who killed Helena Hutchins? Let's just take it at face value and say nobody killed her. It was an accident. All right, so I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out what happens there. Here's Joe Biden on the record. Joe Biden says Joe Biden has no regrets over hidden classified documents. No regrets. Let's listen.
We found a handful of documents were filed in the wrong place. We immediately turned them over to the archives and just
filed in the wrong place, hanging out in your garage with your crackhead son. That's hardly misplaced.
Department. We're fully cooperating, looking forward to getting this resolved quickly. I think you're going to find there's nothing there. I have no regrets. I'm following what the lawyers have told me they want me to do. It's exactly what we're doing. There's no there. Thank you.
I'm following my lawyers. There's no there. Sounds like Bill Clinton, right? But Trump, oh my God, he has classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. Oh my God, bring in the FBI. I see the hypocrisy here, the perversion of justice. We're in charge. We control the Department of Justice, and there's nothing to see here. There's nothing here. There's nothing there. Right? Go look at Trump. So just despicable people. So let's look at this story. Supreme Court says it's unable to identify who leaked the draft of the abortion decision. Now, I got the decision here, and according to the Supreme Court of the United States, they released this statement. In May 2022, this court suffered one of the worst breaches of trust in its history. The leaked draft of a draft opinion. The leak was no mere misguided attempt at protest. It was a grave assault on the judicial processes. Now, that's what the judges said about it, right? And there was a thorough investigation into it. Let's listen to CBS spin it, and then we'll go deeper into the actual document.
Well, remember that leaked draft before the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade? Well, the Supreme Court now releases its report into its probe into that leaked draft opinion, saying effectively it's been unable to determine the identity of the leaker.
Yeah, the report says it was likely a person with insider access, concluding that they do not believe that the culprit had unauthorized access to the court's computer system from an external source.
All right, so CBS is ruling out external hack. All right, so we can't go back and say, oh, it got hacked. All right, and the thorough investigation shows that, at least according to the report, that nobody that worked for the justices did it. They were all required to sign non-disclosure, that if you lie, you're going to jail. They all signed these documents. Nobody leaked it. So the evidence, based on that evidence, you have to point to one of the Supreme Court justices. And nobody is doing it. Nobody except me.
So we want to bring in now CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford. Jan, tell us, what are the key takeaways from this report?
Well, I think the bottom line is they did a thorough investigation. The Chief Justice asked Michael Chertoff, the former head of Homeland Security.
A thorough investigation? You didn't investigate the actual justices? You didn't ask them anything? You didn't put them under the same scrutiny and say, did you do it? And if you lie and we find out that you did it, you're going to jail. That's what they did to everybody else. All right? But the justices never got cross-examined. So CBS, it's not a thorough investigation, not a thorough investigation at all.
Security to come in and review the steps that were taken in this investigation. He concluded that it was thorough. And after 8 months, the bottom line is they still don't know who leaked this draft opinion. When we say extensive, I mean, they talked to nearly 100 court employees,
Right.
82 of whom had
Right.
access either electronically or hard.
Over 100 employees. They talked to over 100 employees. 80 of them had access. They didn't speak to one of the 9. None.
Copies of this draft opinion, all denied having leaked it. They asked for affidavits swearing under penalty of perjury, false statements that they were not the leaker. They all signed it. They looked at the IT systems and whether or not they could tell if someone had downloaded the copy to like a hard drive or something and taken it home, or printer logs that could show that someone had printed it out and perhaps taken it home. And that also revealed nothing, concluding at the end of this 8-month investigation that they still are not sure who this leaker was. They say they're good.
How do you go on CBS and not mention the fact that none of these justices got cross-examined? Not a single one of them. They're above the law. I mean, you know, for all intent and purposes, they are the law, but they seem to be above it because none of them are held to the same scrutiny as the people that work for them. It was a little fucked up there.
We're going to continue this investigation, and if more things come up, then of course, if something is disclosed down the road, they will be all over that and do more interviews. But at this point, we're kind of back where we started, wondering who leaked this to Politico. And remember, I mean, this has never happened before.
Yeah.
Never
This was
happened.
the first time a draft opinion was leaked to the news media in the history of the court.
Well, Jan, that just makes me wonder then, where does this leave the country and the court itself? Because
And not a single one of these reporters pushes back and says, "What about the justices?" You know, am I wrong in saying that's the elephant in the room? The elephant in the room is the justices were never asked anything.
statement here says this was one of the worst breaches of trust in its history, which is no small statement. And of course, it was leaked, some perceived, in an effort to perhaps encourage the court, pressure the court to change its upcoming opinion. So with this conclusion that they don't know who it was or why they may have done it, where does this leave all of us?
Well, I mean, first of all, that's great points. And the court, I think there are a couple of things that are really interesting. The court is speaking with one voice here. I mean, we've got a statement from the entire court speaking as one, talking about what a devastating betrayal this was for the court, how damaging it is for the court if they can't guarantee that they will have the ability to have confidential communications, and how damaging that is for the integrity of the institution and democracy itself. And then they go on to talk about how there are things that can be done and things that are already underway to ensure that this will never happen again. The report itself, and also Michael Chertoff, Secretary
That's the best they can offer. It'll never happen again. Right.
Chertoff makes several recommendations for bolstering that kind of security that you see with electronic devices at the court, hard copies. So they're already implementing things to try to ensure that this does not happen again, limiting, for example, the number of people that would have access to sensitive documents, making it harder for people to just print them out and read them, keeping better tags on who is printing things out, because a lot of the printer logs weren't either working or they couldn't figure out who had printed out what. So the IT systems at the court, it sounds like, have needed some strengthening and security, and they're doing that.
Well,
Great. So you have a completely honest system underneath the justices. Nobody leaked it. No, they found no evidence of a hard dump, hard copy dump or an electronic dump. No evidence of any of that. So one leads to believe thus far that one of the justices either physically did it, had somebody do it, hand it off to Politico before it even got into the system. They had the draft, they had it, and they dumped it before the rest of the people were working on it.
Jim, on that front, it sounds like this extensive investigation believes that it was an internal job. It was one of these 82 people. They haven't been able to determine who that is. So are we led to believe that leaker is still there and still has potential?
Just say it. Just say it. Say it. One of the 9 did it. Just say it, CBS. It's not that hard. Say, it is possible that since everybody else has been thoroughly investigated, that one of the justices did it.
Potentially access?
No, I mean, if it's a law clerk, which I think most people believe it was, they've already gone.
Already turned
right?
over.
Those are just those are just positions that they would have had for the year, so they're gone. And if it's a permanent employee, and again, I mean, my sources, no one thought a permanent employee would do this. It's just almost inconceivable to think because of their respect for the institution. So, the one thing I do think is notable in the report, another thing, is that they do point out that they're not.
Now take this lady, for example. She seems like a very smart woman, right? She seems smart. She's probably highly educated, probably has a couple of degrees under her belt. And because of her position at CBS, it's already decided that we will not accuse a Supreme Court justice of leaking a document. Because then what happens? Where are you then as a country? Now, the Supreme Court justice has set a precedence for leaking. Right? It's not even an avenue, that you're allowed to go down. Right? You're allowed to say, oh, Joe Biden and Donald Trump leaked highly classified documents or whatever, had them laying around in their house. But when a Supreme Court justice deliberately and precisely drops a draft of something that is wildly popular and wildly anticipated, drops it on the public before the decision is penned, is fucked up.
Not sure, perhaps it was an inadvertent disclosure. Perhaps someone may have left it somewhere. I think that seems a little unlikely.
Cassafilli Camden says criminals investigating themselves. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. They can't even say it. They can't even look to the guy next to him and say, maybe he did it, right? If all our workers are integral and nobody broke any rule, right, it's got to be one of us. Who did it?
That then it ends up with Politico, but hey, who knows? So it could have been that. The other thing is that I thought was interesting. They talked to several law clerks who apparently thought it was okay to talk to your spouse about what the court was doing, and so they really are going to crack down on that. That you take a vow of confidentiality, so that doesn't mean that you get to go home and tell your spouse about it. That means you don't get to tell anyone. So, that's also among.
So what? Some of the people under the threat of perjury said, yeah, I mentioned it to my husband. I mentioned it to my wife. Yeah, I mentioned it. But that's not grounds. That's not a leak. That's not a leak. That's spouses talking about stuff that's, that's not dangerous.
Among some of the recommendations.
So here's Peter Strzok. You remember this guy, Peter Strzok, the corrupt FBI guy said? He's the only one I could find who said it. They didn't interview the justices. With periods. They didn't interview the justices. Still can't wrap my head around that. How do you conduct a leak investigation without interviewing the principals? Fucking definitely. Supreme Court media, please prove me wrong. Yeah, man. So here's the report. Here it is. Like I said, it's the worst breach of trust in Supreme Court history. Try to find the story somewhere on somewhere else. No one's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. There's nothing to see here. Go away. And what else? I don't really have anything more to add to this other than which one did it? Which one of the Supreme Court justices did it? I'm looking for one piece that I saw that was interesting. General findings and recommendations. Anyway, I'm done with the story for now. Brain is a little slow right now, so bear with me. I don't know, maybe it's the weather or something. Oh, let's look at the markets. Markets, ding, ding, ding. Hey, we're open. We're not open yet. 3 minutes before we open, and NASDAQ looks to open up 69. We'll do the live chat if you guys are interested. Come on down. Come on down. I got it revved up here. Somebody else can talk for a while while I hang out. So S&P 500 up 10. Dow Jones Industrial Average, the futures are up 6. NASDAQ looks to open up about 70. And we don't have that open for another 2 minutes, so we'll chill about that. It looks like it's going to be it's going to be a green day. And not the band, the green money. So what else is going on here? Google laid off 12,000 workers. That's significant. Actually good for Wall Street. The less they spend on employees, the more profits they retain, according to them. So anyway, let's. Anybody want to come in? I'm going to join. I'm going to turn my camera on. Turn my camera and my mic on. And I hope I know how to do this again. Let's see, everybody. Show everybody. So come on down. Host controls. What is this? Share their screen. So if you guys want to come in, if you're afraid of me, don't come in. Eating details. I'll wait while the market opens. And we're live. Got 1 more minute before it clicks green. It looks like it's going to click green. Futures are way up on NASDAQ. 74. So anyway, man, I don't know. That whole Supreme Court thing is really, it's a perversion of justice. It's they're more important than we are. If you or I did that, we'd be sitting in the can. But one of the justices did it. Who else could have done it? That's the question mark. Who else could have leaked the document other than one of the 9? And if you say to yourself, they wouldn't do that. Of course they would. Because you see that they have immunity to it. There's no pushback at all. We did it. Anyway.
I'm waiting for you. Come on into the chat, man. Come on in. The water's wonderful. The water is beautiful. Oh, what is this? Oh, here we go. Tile.
I figured it out, man. We're on tiles. There we go. So when people come in, there'll be tiles. I figured it out. If nobody wants to come in, I'm going to kill it. Man. I'm going to kill it right here if nobody's coming in. Have a great weekend, everybody. I need to rest anyway. I'm feeling a little. Oh, Weevil Girl's here. Weevil Girl. Good morning, Weevil Girl. Weevil Girl, how are you, man?
Hey.
How you doing? How are you?
Good. How are you?
All right. A little under the weather today. I don't know why. I'm feeling maybe like the monthly period or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm okay though. I'm gonna go out and run. I'm actually very excited to go outside and run in a little while. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. I kind of overdid it a little earlier in the week. Made myself sick, but I'm back on track.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I drank a little beer and I'm not very good at handling it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I'd be honest. I was smoking my tobacco too much, and that kind of it was bad, and so I stopped. And now my hands are a little shaky. But this is the one I used. I put on the mouse. It's a little moving right now. Not really, but
Jeez.
I'm kidding. My hands are steady. I am.
Okay.
I am feeling it.
Okay.
I feel the minor.
Yeah.
The minor withdrawal from nicotine. It's very addictive. It's fun, but then it stops being fun, right? like all things.
Yeah, I quit nicotine a year ago.
Oh, good for you. Yeah.
It was good. I went to all hemp cigarettes.
Okay.
And that's how I weaned myself off of it. They don't have any THC in them because
Right.
that's illegal in my state.
Yeah. For me, it's just I just stop, and then whatever. So you got your bowls. You want to do some meditation, some
Yeah.
bowl
Let's do it.
meditation. Let's do it.
All right. So I have been thinking about breath and meditation, and we should just kind of make ourselves comfortable. I think it helps if you sit up straight. That helps me when I do longer meditations. So kind of find your posture that's comfortable. Start to get into your breath. We're going to focus only on our breath. You don't think about past breaths or future breaths. A breath is always in the now. Breathe deeply in through your nose. Release out through your mouth.
That's such an awesome sound, man. Awesome sound. Awesome. Thank you, Weeble Girl. Thank you, Weeble Girl.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome, man. So, so I wrote a little story. I had fun writing that little Buddhist story about the father, and I don't know. I pushed it out there, see what people think of it. I think people. I think there's mixed messages to it. I'm not really sure if what people's impressions of it is. But I think you had said in the chat that it's the island of self, returning to the island of self. That's pretty much what it is, in the final analysis. Right? But anyway. Hey, you know what, Weevil Girl? I got an idea. Go ahead. Go.
Oh, I was just thinking, personally, I was raised on a farm, and meditation, all that kind of spiritual stuff is seen as kind of like woo woo or like out there. And yeah, it was a lot for me to let go of that part of myself that I identified as someone who wouldn't be into spirituality or meditation, even though I didn't know what it was.
Right.
Because everything comes with like stereotypes. So letting go of that stereotype and going into spirituality and learning more about yourself and going inward and doing that healing work, you become someone else. And sometimes that's a little scary for people. They don't want to let go of that ego self-identity and allow themselves to grow in that way. Part of them probably wants to grow, but part of them is also afraid of like, if I start walking down this path, where will it end? I mean, I even wonder that. Like, hey, am I going to end up like being so disconnected from other people who aren't into spirituality that I'm on that island, kind of isolated instead of choosing that island because it's so enjoyable and beautiful.
I think that's, and thank you for sharing that. I think that's actually a misconception about the island of self, that it's lonely. In fact, when you return to the island of self and you take care of the number one, the only real person you have access to is yourself. And when you rid yourself of the baggage, the fear, the doubt, the anger, the resentment, you become available to everybody. Your island is everywhere. it's not necessarily when you return to Island of Self, and then you once the idea of enlightenment, you're enlightened, and then that is what you're sharing with the world. That is the gratitude, because you're approaching things without this. It's not to say that it's a cave, the isolated island. That's often I think a misconception in the West, that it's not, that it's running away to a cave, but it's really not. It's the opposite. The Buddha walked the earth when he finally. The other thing I find is the religion part of it. That as you said, it's people are afraid of it for. They think it's a religion. Yeah, I already have a religion. I'm Christian. This is I can't get into this Buddhist stuff. This is no good. But what you really you're not offering a religion. You're offering a meditation that helps you. Right? The difference. Big difference.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to change your religion to quiet your mind.
Right.
So,
Right.
For sure.
I got an idea. How about this? Because you have such a great voice, Weevil Girl. How about could you read the story? Not now, but on your own. Just read the story into a microphone, and then we'll do we'll do something with it. Just read it. Take your time and just read it. If you have your microphone, whatever you're using is fine. But if you have you could just talk into the phone, and once you have that audio, you can have video too if you have it in there. If you can make a nice frame, I could use that too. But I want to do that. I wanted to do like an audio thing. We'll throw it up on YouTube and let people. Because people are lazy.
Cool.
They don't want to read. It's even 5 minutes. They don't even
Yeah.
read it.
I like audio poems too. Poetry through audio is really good.
Right.
So people might like that.
Yeah, I did.
I'm making your hat. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
You can.
Awesome. Awesome. I can't wait.
It's
man.
coming.
That's coming.
Yeah.
That's good. Good.
Yeah.
I did. I actually did. I did one. I don't know where it is. Let me see if I can find it.
You knit sometimes?
No. I don't knit. No, I'm changing the subject.
Oh.
I have. I'll do this another time. No, I don't knit.
Oh, you did an audio.
I
You did
did.
an audio of your thing.
Yeah, I did an audio of the thing, and let me see where it is. I'll take a look.
Well, you have a great voice. People like your voice.
No, it didn't work out so well. It didn't work out so well. I tried it, and listen to this. Listen. Let's see. Hold on a second.
The Enlightened Father by Marcus Conti, January 2023. Once there was an enlightened man who built a home on an island.
Can you hear it?
It was a beautiful island full of exotic
You
fruits
can't
and
hear it?
vegetables.
All right, people hear it, but it's in a British accent. I don't know why. That's
Really?
Yeah, I did it. I let the PDF voice do it, and it works. It works, but it's not as good as a real person. I'd rather I tried it myself, but it wasn't. It's not my voice. For some reason, I tried it, and it just. I mean, I could do it. My voice is a little too. It's too. I guess I don't know. It would take too much work, but I think your voice would work. I think just take your time, do it. Check it out, man. So,
Okay, I'll try it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'll email it to you or something.
Yeah. You have my email. Always, just forward it. And once I have the clip, I'll do some voodoo on it. I'll do some put it together in a way that it's presentable or whatever. All right, Weevil Girl, I'm gonna
Cool.
bounce, man. I hate to cut it off. I want to get outside and get some air, and then and we'll be back on Monday, and hopefully feeling a little less blue.
Okay.
A little bit.
Take it easy, man.
All right, I'll see you, man. See you. Thanks, Weevil. Thanks for coming
Bye,
on.
chat.
Peace.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Weevil Girl. Thank you, guys, for joining me, man. So have a good weekend, everybody. Have a good weekend.